Hey everybody, I am going to show you how I did this Mars pattern base, which I've actually had some questions about recently, and this was on the Voltarax Stratos Automata for AdMech. I think it's for AdMech. Anyway, this was an experiment at the time that turned out really good, and it's a really simple way to make a interesting looking but kind of dead simple base. And we're going to start out with some Bondo glazing and spot putty. And if you've never used this before, this is essentially the auto body equivalent of liquid green stuff. Comes in this tube. It's actually got a it's pretty stinky stuff, but luckily you don't use a lot of it, so you don't have to worry about the smell very much. So I'm just going to take it and start smearing it on the base. You kind of want to use a little bit thin coats. This stuff cures out pretty fast because, again, it's not water based. It's got some sort of more caustic base to it. You can thin it with acetone too if you want to get it even thinner. So I usually do several thin coats and maybe even let them dry just a little bit, like 30 seconds at best. I'm not going to do that now because I'm kind of in a hurry. Now, if you go too thick, or if you go thicker, I should say, not necessarily too thick, you might want to do this. It'll crack. Let me show you. See that? But you might like that. So you might want to go thinner, which I'm not saying necessarily too thick. If you go thick, it will crack. And so if you want that effect, then go thick. I haven't experimented too much with that aside from what happened on the bases that I made, and as you see, I left those cracks there because I thought they looked pretty amazing. Now, as you can see, I'm spreading this with like a palette knife. You want something smooth to get this particular effect, and then as you're smoothing it out and as it's drying, it's not smoothing out completely because it kind of gets picked up and the dry stuff kind of spreads and cracks and creates texture, and that's exactly what you're looking for. You're not looking for it to be butter smooth. You want it to be a little bit more textury. And so you're just going to automatically get that as long as you don't smooth it out too much like I kind of just did right there. But that's okay, you can always keep going. And of course the new fresh layer is going to kind of wet down the lower layer and smooth that out a little bit, and then the top layer is going to dry some and you're going to get texture, and so you just kind of keep working it around with that flat palette knife and you'll end up with some happy little groundwork. You can even try breaking it up a little bit if it gets too smooth, and then smoothing that back down, and that'll leave little crevices. And then right now, see, I'm pushing too hard on it, and so it's smoothing it out like I don't want it to do. So now I'm just sort of letting the knife lightly drag across the top so I can get that texture that I'm looking for. Now you could also add like little stones or sand or something else to that, but my whole point here is to create a simple base with a minimum of products to work with. But again, this is, this can be a starting point or it can be an end point. And when I did this base here, that's all I did was just this putty and paint. So I started another one earlier, and that one has dried. And so we'll go ahead and go straight to paintwork on that. And so I'll be right back. All right, so for a primer coat, we're going to start out with some Stynylrez Gray. Next up, we're going to use a coat of Warcolors One Coat Orange. This is their opaque range, and as you can see, it's really kind of a golden yellow orange. And I'm just going to apply it with a brush, although on the other one I applied it with the airbrush. But whenever I do that, people ask me if they can do it with a brush, and since this is a small project, I figured I would show you that airbrush is certainly not necessary with this project. It's called one coat, but I'm giving it 2 coats because I want to get the full brightness of the orange, and the second coat doesn't require it to be really heavy. Okay, so if there's a real secret sauce to this painting recipe, it is Vallejo Model Wash for Rust Effects Dark Rust. And this is it. This is the end. This is the final, the final piece that ties this all together and makes it awesome. This is a wash line that Vallejo does that is really geared towards armor modelers. But I have found many uses for them outside of that realm, and this was one of those times where I discovered that they can do something amazing. So I just put a little bit in this cup and make sure that paint's dry. Looks like it's dry. And this is going to pick out all of those little nooks and crannies and details inside of that base. And then we just let that dry. And that's really it. So we'll let it dry, we'll come back, we'll see what we got. So now it's dry, and there's your base. And what I really love about this is how the wash interacts with that putty that you put down there, and it just comes out with this really super natural, not supernatural, but really natural feel to it that looks like a very convincing groundwork. And so that's it. That's really all there is to this. These are bases that you can create in an incredibly short period of time. And I think this would look particularly good for Adeptus Mechanicus, you know, with that Mars theme. But you could also experiment with other colors. It doesn't have to be this. If you're looking for the Mars look, that's how you do it. But if you want to sort of start with this concept of utilizing that putty to make ground, you can use whatever colors you want and come up with, you know, your own recipes for this. And if you do that, I would love to see them. Be sure to respond in the comments if you do that, so that I can have a look at your works. I love seeing when other people take ideas that I've given them and then gone off in different directions with them, or improved on them and make what I did look really silly. And that happens. I love it when I see somebody improving on what I did and making it look better, and making me go, wow, I wish I had done what I did better like that person did what I did. So that's it. This is, you know, real quick video on how to do this base. And that's going to do it for now, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.